Hello gorgeous, welcome to Fadzi TV, your platform for everything women's health. My name is Fadzi and I'm the founder of this platform. If you are interested in natural holistic approaches to your womanhood, you are in the right place. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so that when I upload a new video, you won't miss it. If you enjoy what we're talking about today, make sure that you like the video by giving it a thumbs up and then share it with your other lady friends. I'm trying my best to get this information out to as many women as is possible. And so if you have girlfriends who could benefit from a natural holistic approach to their health, please pull them into the tribe so that together we get healthier. Our topic for today is cycle syncing. Cycle syncing. Let's get into it. A few years back, after discovering Alisa Vitti, the woman who wrote Woman Code, she is so amazing, make sure that you look her up. She writes in her book about cycle syncing. So when I read it, I decided I would give it a try. And basically what this is to hack your menstrual cycle. So that means you start to understand the phases of your menstrual cycle, the energy levels that you have during that time and how you're feeling, and then you use that to help you to create a life around it. Understanding that when we are in sync with our natural rhythms as women, we are thriving even more. So I was so intrigued by this idea that I actually started doing it, and over the years it's been very helpful for me. So I wanted to share this with you just in case you don't know about cycle syncing, or you know about it but you haven't really given it a try. Let's discuss it and talk about its benefits, why it exists, and why you might possibly want to give it a try to help you to create greater womanhood. So you're aware that your menstrual cycle has 4 phases to it. You have the menstruating part where you're actually bleeding, your uterus lining is being shed off from your body. And then you have the follicular phase. This is the time where before ovulation begins. So follicular phase and the menstruating phase, they actually start at the same time. But after your period is done, you have some other days before your ovulation starts. This is the continuation of the follicular phase. It's prepping your body for the release of the egg. And then you actually have your ovulatory phase. This is where the egg gets released into your body. And then after that, you have the luteal phase where the body is prepping for possible pregnancy. And then you go back to menstruating again. These are the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle. Because of the different levels of hormones that we experience during each of these 4 phases, we are feeling different from week to week to week to week. In other weeks, our estrogen levels are really high. In other weeks, they are low. Same is for progesterone and follicular stimulating hormone and all of that. So in cycle syncing, what you're essentially doing is you're understanding the natural rhythms of your body as a woman, and then you are adapting your lifestyle to fit that. This way, in a low energy week, for example, when you're actually menstruating in this week, your energy levels are really low. So you might not want to be socializing during that week. So if you understand your cycle and you know when what is coming, you can actually schedule your life accordingly. You're not going to schedule that you're going to go for a big party when you're menstruating, because during that time you feel like cocooning. You feel like just being home and being warm and comforted. You don't feel like spending time out and being sociable. So instead of you forcing yourself into these situations or certain exercises that you might want to try when you are feeling low energy, you can actually do the opposite. Look at your cycle and use that to schedule your life. It's so much better. I mean, for me, I have given it a try and I absolutely love it, because you are not actually going against your own natural rhythm. You're going with the flow, understanding the energy levels that you have with each week, and then scheduling your life. For the most part, of course, life always happens, but for the most part, you can get a good rhythm going. So during the first week when you're actually bleeding, like we already mentioned, your energy levels are quite low. So this is not the time for you to be doing high intensity workouts. The workouts that you might want to schedule during this week are like gentle workouts. Yoga, you might go for a walk instead of going for a run, because you're respecting your body that it just needs to rest. You allow yourself lots of rest, and you don't schedule any social activities during this week because you don't have the energy for them. You might also look at the foods that you're eating, and you want foods that are going to support you during the bleeding phase. When you are bleeding, you're losing a lot of nutrients, a lot of micronutrients especially. So this is the time where you might incorporate into your diet things like seaweed. This is where your kale would go. This is where your beetroot and stuff like that would go. Mushrooms, having your miso during this week, that would be a great week to do that. If you are somebody who's eating meat, this is the week where you want to be eating those blood building red meats such as your pork, and you might also want to actually eat something like duck. For those who are going to have some poultry, duck would be a great option to have during this week. It helps with building blood in your body. You might want to have, if you're somebody who's going for seafood, this is where you might think about having like mussels or sardines and mackerel. Next up is your follicular phase. During this week, your estrogen levels are rising, so you feel that your energy levels are also on the rise. This is the time for you to actually get into your high intensity workouts and to lift weights for your exercise. That could be great for that week. You can eat foods such as avocados. You want to think like fresh and light. Zucchini, carrots, green beans, your peas, they're great during that week. Barley, oats, great during that week. For those who are eating meat, chicken is great for that week as well, and eggs as well are great for that. Your fruits can include citruses, limes and oranges. Those are all going to be wonderful for you during your follicular phase. You feel during this week that you really have a lot of brain power. So in terms of your activities, this is a great week to do your problem solving. So if you're needing to solve some issues, you can actually wait until this moment where you can maximize that brain power and actually say, all right, all of those issues that I needed to solve, I'm going to be solving them during this time. Next will be your ovulatory phase, where the egg is actually released from your ovaries. During this time, you are very, very sociable. So this is where you can schedule all your parties and get-togethers with your girls and other people. This week is great for you to actually be up and about. You're feeling confident. You're feeling like you want to interact with people. So take advantage of that. In terms of how you are energy-wise, because you are still having high energy and you're feeling confident, you're also quite focused during this week. So this is the week that's great for you to actually have those difficult conversations that you mean to have with people. This week would support you in that. So if you're wanting to have a tough conversation, you might want to wait around until your ovulation comes to have that, because your own rhythm will support you in doing it. And then in terms of your activities and your exercise, you can actually do group classes during this week because you're quite social. So a spinning class could be great, or a CrossFit with other people and whatnot. This is that week where any group, anything is something that could support you very, very well. For the foods during your ovulatory phase, you're thinking about things such as your eggplant and tomato and spinach, dandelion, okra. This is a great time to have those. You're thinking about fruits such as your raspberries and strawberries. They're going to support you during this time. Almonds and pistachios will be great for you. For those who eat meat, this is where you're thinking about having your lamb. That's going to be something that helps you during this time. So look into foods such as that. Lastly is your luteal phase. During this week, your attention actually becomes more inward focused, because in the ovulatory phase, you're like super social, and then the next one is you're starting to go inward as you start to wind down to prep for your menstruation. During this week, a lot of people will actually start to experience PMS symptoms. In terms of your attention, because you're more inward focused, this is a great week to just get things done. If you have a list of things that you need to, just get done, this is the time to get into it and do it. You're able to dig deep into your tasks without distractions during this week. Your natural rhythms are supporting you to just, one thing after the other, get it done. So use that week for that. Here you start to feel that your energy levels are starting to be lower. So you might want to practice things such as your restorative yoga. You might also want to start making your activities and your exercises a lot more gentle. Not as high intense as you are doing during the follicular phase, but you just shift that around. You still have some energy and some power, but you don't want to overdo it during this week. Foods that can support your body and your hormones during this time include things such as your cauliflower, your cucumbers. You can also eat your celery during this time. It's great for sweet potato and pumpkin and radishes. This is a great week to have fish such as halibut. This is the time where you can have, if you're somebody who eats meat, your beef and your turkey. During this time is great. In terms of your grains, you're looking at things like brown rice and millet. So you can look at those foods to support you during this time. So that's basically it with cycle syncing. You're looking at your natural rhythms that come with your menstrual cycle, and then you're matching that to the lifestyle that you have. And I find that great because as women, we have these changing rhythms all the time. And instead of forcing ourselves, which we do a lot of, like, that I don't want to go there this week, I don't feel like it, I don't have enough energy, but I'm just going to go and do it anyway. But if you know this information and you actually schedule your life around and the things that are required of you, when people ask you, so can we meet during week 1, and you say, no, actually, is it okay if we met on this other date, knowing that during that time you'll be more available emotionally and mentally as well. So give it a try and see how you like it. Of course, I can give you more information. Check out, there's lots of information as well online. Get Alisa Vidi's book Woman Code. It's incredible if you want to dig deep into it. So on the blog, I'm going to be sharing, on my IG, I'm going to be sharing some of the meals that I've been creating with cycle syncing, and you guys can let me know what you think. So hop on over there and let's talk about it some more. So thank you so much for watching. Come into the comments and let me know, have you ever tried cycle syncing? And if you have, how has it worked out for you? And if you haven't, after watching this episode, are you intrigued to give it a try? Let us know in the comments. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go to MamboKadzi.com, and there you will find a free e-guide called Not Today PMS. Download that and use it, especially if you're going to try cycle syncing. I think that would be a powerful combination to download my e-guide with that as well, because it's going to just help you to look deeply into your menstrual cycle and start changing it for the better, especially if you're somebody who has PMS symptoms or you feel like you cramp up a lot during your period. Try that free e-guide and see if you can, use some of those tips and the tools and techniques that I give in there to just help you to turn that around. All right? I will see you again soon right here on Mambo Kadzi TV. Take care of you. Ciao.